Yeah.
We got a lot of comments last night during Hotline Live and overnight on Facebook. A lot of Rangers fans asking about the Celtic winner, Kelechi Iheanacho. Des, what did you make of it? There was a lot of suggestions that perhaps he pushed Ryan Astley over before putting the ball into the net. What's your thoughts?
Right. So when you're looking at that still there, it doesn't look great. But football's a physical sport. There's going to be pushing and jostling at every single time. I'm not jumping in to give a foul there. And what was quite tellingly was not one Dundee player even looked for a foul when it was when the game was on. No, that's not a foul. 100%, it's not a foul.
I agree with that. Keith, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think that Ryan Astley's got to be stronger. Big centre half. You can't just get bowled over like that. However, it is a push. There's no doubt about it. It's a push.
But not everything's a foul.
It's a foul. Yeah, he's gone down. He's gone down too easily. I agree with all of that. One of the things that I always look for is the reaction, as you said, Des, of the players. Kelechi Iheanacho looked a little bit sheepish for about 5 seconds, didn't he? He didn't take off. Given the importance of the goal, you'd expect him to, but he looked to me like a guy that was looking to say, "Oh, wait a minute, has that got to stand?" Now, I agree. I don't think that should be given as a foul, but it is a push, and Kelechi Iheanacho did look a bit shifty after it.
But is that not the current?
What I would, well, if the referee gives a push, Des, if the referee gives that for a push, gives Dundee a free kick, doesn't let the goal stand, VAR aren't going to overrule it.
No, you're not. But VAR's there only to comment on clear and obvious errors. So what's happened there is an opinion, and you and I and Daniel share the same opinion. So if I was VAR and if the referee gave a foul, I could support it. I could say, well, do you know what? Yeah, he shoved them, he's nudged them. Okay, but it's not no, it's just not. Absolutely not. And I think, as you said, Iheanacho looking, sort of waiting to see what's going to happen. I think that's a current symptom of where we are with VAR, because
it's a shambles, that, isn't it? You can't even enjoy scoring a goal.
They're not sure they can celebrate a goal. Yeah. So, I've got no issues with that at all.
I think we're in sort of broad church agreement on that one. Dundee centre half, Ryan Astley, he's just got to be stronger there. He's got to be stronger. I don't know if he was maybe he was off balance as well, but I don't think there was enough. But I would say it's quite clear there was a push. But I'm wanting my centre half to be a bit stronger there.
And as I said to you, the initial reaction when you look at the players around him, not just Astley, you look at the other players, the goalkeeper who was 3-4 yards away from him, the players surrounding him, nobody looked for a foul.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's obviously some fans, I've put them up on the screen, some people, Rangers fans, to be honest, saying it was a foul. Craig says, if that's a foul, then we're 100% in a PES game. Come on, it's not all contact is a push. John says, Rick Astley's had a nightmare. And Rick Astley went on to get sent off. But to be fair, Keith, for that challenge, he was never going to give it up.
It's Ryan.
I know.
His name's Ryan.
I know. It was for purposes of comedy, Keith.
You could use Astley. just don't give him the wrong first name.
So Ryan Astley.
Don't crack Rick Astley jokes on here. What are we? Lorraine Kelly?
We'll get some Highland Cows predicting the scores next.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Ryan Astley, Des, was next up at Dens Park. He was sent off late on. Did either of you have any problem with this? I mean, I kind of thought it was fair enough. He's I think it was Yang that he kind of sized down. Yang was just about through and go if he'd got away from him. Any complaints from either of you?
No, it's a red card.
Keith?
That was very straightforward.
I agree. I think Yang, there's a good angle from behind the play, and to me, Yang's getting away. He's probably going to get through on goal. I don't know about covering defenders. nah, for me, that's the right decision.
Yeah.
And you know, it was funny because Astley obviously hung about for about 5 minutes trying to plead his case, but I don't think he had much of one there. I think that was a red card. I think that was the right decision.
Yeah. The other one from Dens Park, which is an interesting one that was dominating Twitter X last night, is Celtic's opening goal. So a lot of Rangers fans, Des, were suggesting that perhaps Yang, who got the final touch, and it definitely was Yang, was offside. What is the actual law? Because I mean, even Keith and I before this, I was saying, well, is Yang not behind the ball, but then was he behind the keeper? Like, what is the rule for that?
Well, the law is the second last defender. That's what it. So you take the goalkeeper is just a player.
Right.
So it's got to be behind the offside is closer to the goal line and the second last defender when the ball was played. But what I found really sort of confrontational about this was there was no lines drawn.
Right,
So,
it wasn't even referred
no,
to that, was it?
No. So
Didn't they say that they were checking offside on Nygren as the ball gets floated into the box, and he did look to be on line with one of the Dundee defenders. I'm sure they checked for offside on that, and Yang's not offside. My issue is, if there is an issue, you tell me. I thought that Nygren could have blown it by getting involved. I think Yang's clearly onside. I think Yang he chips the ball up really cute over McCracken, and at that point, I was just assuming that Yang had got the final touch on it, and it's a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Slow motion clearly shows that Nygren comes in and touches the ball first, and then Yang touches the ball.
Yeah.
I think Nygren's coming at that from an offside position with the keeper on the deck. That one I'm not sure about. If Nygren doesn't get involved in that, I think it's a perfectly good goal and there's no argument. But Nygren getting the first touch before Yang touches it, is there a case for offside there?
I don't think when I seen the still when the ball was crossed, you can see Nygren was in line with the other defender, so I wouldn't say he was offside.
He's onside there.
But what I would say is, I think we're getting too forensic there. We're getting far too caught up in information that we don't really need. Because if Nygren was onside, then he's entitled to go for the ball because McCracken's coming for it. Yang, yes.
My question to you is, Des, when Yang clips the ball up over McCracken, I think Nygren's in an offside position then.
Right, so again, to go back to that, and you quite rightly pointed out that he's almost blown it for him because he shouldn't need to get involved because Yang's clearly only going to put the ball one place. But nah, I wouldn't be calling for offside for that. I think that's okay.
John in the comments says it was actually good to see two Celtic players falling the ball into the net. That is quite refreshing this season, to be fair. Are you happy with that, Keith? Is that?
That's why I was asking for clarification because I'm not sure. I'm unsure of the rule and how. At what point is it first phase, second phase? At what point? So I think Nygren's onside as the ball gets played in.
Mm-hmm.
But when Yang takes the touch to clip it over McCracken, is that not the next phase? Is Nygren's positioning at that point not pertinent?
Well, as Paul says in the comments, when Yang chips it over the goalie, is Nygren not behind Yang or at least in line with him?
Yeah, so that's what we say. So Yang's going to be the one that goes into it. Yes, and it does muddy the water, so to speak, the fact that Nygren's getting involved in it. But it doesn't. For me, it doesn't substantiate enough to call off the goal.
Aye, there you go. Two other ones.
I think if Nygren just doesn't get involved, Yang scores, and
aye, I know. I see what you mean now.
Yeah,
probably made the whole thing a lot clearer.
Aye.
That's what it's muddying the waters, isn't it?